Hi, this is Mark with Raw Nutrition. In this video, I'm going to talk about the Omega 8000 series juicers. Sometimes can get a little confusing with all the different model numbers. I have here the 8007 and the 8006. So obviously in this case you would say that the 8007 is a newer model compared to the 8006, and that it is. The 8007 is a newer model, except it is in silver, and it has a different shape here. You don't have a handle like you do with the 8006 that you can grab onto. You just kind of slip your hand underneath to lift it up. There's also an 8008 model, which is the chrome version of the 8007. So these are newer models with just a few changes. The previous model was the 8004, and this one here, the 8006. The 8004 was the same as the 8006. Still available. It's all white, and all these parts are white except for the auger and screen. The oldest generation models, which are also still available, the 8003 and 8005. The confusion will be there where you have the 8005 is an older model than the 8004, which is a newer model. So the 8003 and 5, 3 was white, still is white, and the 5 is chrome. So all these models are still available. You have 3 generations of juicers with slight differences in each one. So I'll stick today in this video, I'll just compare these two models. The differences between the 8006 and the 8007 and 8, which are the same except for the finish. So we'll start off as a look we've discussed. Next up is the funnel. They both have the same pushers. The funnel on the 8007 and 8 is larger. You can almost call it a tray. You have a lot of room to place your vegetables. It actually comes off the feed tube, whereas on the 8006 it doesn't. So it's stuck on there, and you see a lot smaller than the new model. Little redesign of the collection bowl for the pulp. Same thing for the juice. Little redesign, more square on the new one. Put that back in. Now you could interchange the whole front part into the other juicer. That is still identical, but the parts inside are different. The juicing caps are the same, the end caps here, but the screens are different in the two juicers. In the newer 8007 and 8, the screen has, instead of being plastic like in the 8006, the screen here is stainless steel, and the actual juicing screen, the cone end, is bigger. I'll hold them like this, so there is more screen surface on the newer juicer. So these don't actually, you can't change them, they don't fit. The parts internally are different. Even the auger, which is very similar, the new model is actually a little longer, so you can't change that. But other than that, they're really designed the same and will achieve the same results. Except you may get a bit more juice with the larger screen surface. That'll remain to be seen in our comparison test today. Other than that, it's really the same. This may be a little stronger now that they've put in a stainless steel inside the screen. Again, that'll remain to be seen. The squares are round instead of being square in here. The holes, I should say, are round instead of being square. Let's close these back up. Both these juicers carry a manufacturer's warranty of 15 years. So the warranty hasn't changed. And with Omega, it's an all parts and motor warranties. So if ever you have anything that breaks during that 15-year period, it will be replaced. So I'll start off with the previous model generation, the 8006. I have 2 pounds of carrots on each side. We've cut them up already so they fit easily into our feed chute. The feed chutes are both the same size, 1.5 inch round, so that hasn't changed. It's not like the other the new models, the 800 and 900, the NC 800 and NC 900. Those feed chutes are larger. Perfect. So we'll get our juicer started. As mentioned, I've got 2 pounds of carrots on each side. And with these horizontal type juicers, you do have to maintain a bit of pressure for the juicer to take up, for the auger basically, in the juicer to take up the vegetables. They work especially well juicing greens, wheatgrass, and you can also do the hard vegetables. These horizontal type juicers won't be so good if you're juicing soft fruits. Sometimes that will tend to come up. If you're mixing things, you won't have that problem. If you got a lot of soft fruit, a lot of soft fiber, it will tend to want to back up. You check out some of my other videos. I have compared juicers doing apples. And you see a little bit near the end of our test where we put in about 4 apples, it was starting to want to back up. And they were harder apples, they were Granny Smith type apples. So these horizontal masticating juicers turn at 80 revolutions per minute, so very slow. Maximum run time suggested by the manufacturer is 30 minutes, and then it should be stopped. Let the motor parts cool. I find these a little bit slower to use than the popular upright juicers because you do have to hold down, push down on the vegetables. But other than that, they're very versatile juicer. Both models still include the pasta attachment and the homogenizing blank. So with those you could extrude pasta, and with the homogenizing blank you can do a series of things like processing frozen fruit for making sorbets. What's nice about these juicers I especially like is they're quiet. It's just the sound of little motor hum and crushing vegetables. Well, the vegetables crushing, making an excellent healthy juice. An upright masticating juicer tends to leave pump, whereas these horizontal juicers leave very little pump, which I'll compare when I'm done with both. You see, I've left the screen on the juice collecting bowl. We'll be able to see exactly how much pulp each one left in the juice. So I could leave some vegetables up here. It's not that much room on this funnel or tray. It does help just keep things in, avoid the pulp falling over. And even though it's slow, it's still pretty quick to juice. And we're pretty much completed with 2 pounds. Just my pulp. A couple more pieces to go. Perfect. Let it run. Make sure you pushed out the last of the pulp. And that's completed for the 8006. Now let's try our 8007. Okay. Pretty much the same process. There is a little more room up here, so I can have my vegetables up here while I'm juicing. And really no difference. It's really the auger is the same. It's not any easier or harder to push. It is really the same. These pulp outlets on this model are not adjustable. You have the newer models, 800 and 900, the NC 800 for the Nutrition Center. Those have a little adjustment knob on the end that you can tighten up, retain a little more pulp, and hopefully squeeze out more juice from that pulp. So in these comparisons, I learned my lesson. I can't do both juicers at once. Having to push down in every vegetable is easier to do one after the other. It would be nice if there was a design as efficient as this that would be a little more self-feeding. Drop the carrot. So you'll find when you're doing greens, those will get pulled in more easily. The harder vegetables, you really have to get the auger to crush it, so you have to kind of maintain a little bit of pressure for the auger to take it up. If you're doing greens or wheatgrass, the grass will quickly and easily pull into the juicer. We only have a few more pieces to go. I expect very little difference in yield. We should really have just about the same amount of juice. I believe the design change is more aesthetic than actually achieving any greater yield. There we have it. Put the pulp containers aside. And we'll pull up the juice here and compare how much pulp each one left. Pretty similar. One's a little more spread out. I'll push it into the corner here. Well, looks like maybe the newer model 8007 and 8 left a little more pulp. But it's still very little. I could have juiced easily without putting the screen on. There's very little pulp. It won't be disagreeable. And we'll measure our results. I hadn't prepared. Okay, so we have our 8006. I'll go ahead and pour that in here. And the results from our 8007. And we're generally getting 400 milliliters. And that's what we have here, 400 milliliters with our 8007. And pretty much the same at 400 milliliters with our 8006 model. So there you have them side by side, really the same yield. If you're looking, the newer models are a little more expensive. If you want to save a few dollars and you don't mind the old look, it's still perfectly reasonable. Same 15-year warranty. So there's really no difference, I can tell, if you like the new design with the sleek little handle on the back. You stick your hands underneath to lift it up. There's really very little difference. The only difference really is in silver. There had never been a silver juicer. They were always chrome or white. Now you do have the option with the 8007 silver, and that's pretty much been our most popular model out of the 8007 and 8, just because the silver color is appreciated very much. And it's priced off the same as a chrome. So there you have it, my comparison between the 8006 and the 8007. Again, this is Mark with Raw Nutrition. Be sure to subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. We'll keep doing some demonstrations, and check us out online at www.RawNutrition.com.